Hi everyone and welcome back. So in this video, let's try to understand the controller, service layer and DAO layer, because these are the three architecture, three different layers of MVC, model view controller. And in the NestJS also you can relate these things with the controller, with a service, and a service accessing the data from the repository pattern, or from ORM repository, or from ODM. So it's like we call it, a generic term is data access layer. So here we can see the controller, user controller, and you can create all the domain. Like we are going to just play with the task. This is a NestJS project, so you can create a core, shared folder, domain folder. Inside domain folder, you can define all the different repositories. Like here, what I did is try to create a proper structure in the SRC core, all the shared things: database, domain, lib, shared utility. So inside domain, we have a task, so we can just start playing with the task. So here we can create task controller, task service, task module, task entity, task DTO. All these things will go inside the task folder, and we will see how we can create all these different things like task controller, task service, and task module. And inside app controller, we just try to put the sample definition inside a task controller and a task service. So we'll try to reproduce only basic things like, okay, CRUD operation using task. We will define couple of methods: get, put, post, delete. So controller is the router. So here we are going to decide, okay, tasks, API v1 tasks, and these are the different methods: get, put, post. So you can just do a copy paste. App service, copy the app service inside a task service, and inside this is injectable service. So we can rename it to task service, add the task service inside a task controller, and then start writing some methods inside it. So this is how we'll get started with this task module. So let's add a task controller, task service. I think we need to rename the task controller. Here task module, so task controller, and same thing will go to the task service. Here we need to rename it to task service. So task service is in the provider because this is injectable. And then imports, are we dependent on any other module? Then we can add that declaration. Let's say I'm going to access user service in the task service. Then I need to import a user module here so that I can use a user service inside a task service. And task module, you have to add inside a domain module. So this is the root module, right? Inside domain module, we are importing, and domain module is importing task module. So this is hierarchy. The hierarchy you can see, we have root module, app module is importing domain module is importing task module. So this is how all the things are connected. This is simple controller, this is simple module, and this module is importing task module. We can start the application, and we can see how these gets initialized. npm run start, and we see application started and application is running. Here we can see the different modules also, the API path exposed, task controller and all. We can see that app module is importing domain module is importing task module has everything, the controller, service, and the providers inside it. So now let's try to see the user module. We'll update the user module and we'll put it as a user module. So you can see what we are trying to achieve here is there is a root module has a domain module is importing user module and the task module. So user module has its user controller, user service, task module has a task controller, task service. And let's try to see how this works. So inside we have a task module. So what I'm trying to show here is user module imports the task module. That means I can use task service inside a user service, but not the other way around. Then there is a cyclic referencing, right? If task module depends on user module depends on task module, it's a cycle. So for now we can just take a look on to where user module is importing a task module. Okay, we'll replace it to the user service, and inside this we can have a constructor and we can inject the task service. So this is what I was trying to do here, task service, and I can have a method here inside a task service, inside a user service. Now user service is trying to access the task service. That means user module needs to import a task module. So this is how the relationship works of between these modules. We just need to clean up the node module sometimes and it starts working. I am doing build, so build is out directory is dist or build. We need to check that, and then it will start working as expected. Now let's see where we are. We were at the user service, depends on the task service. This is the domain module, task module. Let's import a user module. Now user module is importing task module, and inside task module, I'm already saying that, okay, from task module, you can get the user service. So this is user module, and inside user module, you have a user service and you are importing task service. So from the user module, I'm exporting the user service, and I got an error here. I'm trying to access user service. I'm trying to access task service inside a user service. So we need to resolve it. User module is a valid NestJS module because task service is not resolved in the user service. So better we need to import a task module inside a user module. I mean, it's like other way around. You can just try to understand here. Now after doing this, it will work fine because inside a user module at line number 7, I put task module. So task module is imported in the user module. I can access user service inside a, task service inside a user service, and it will work as expected. So this is how the multi-module setup works, and not even 2 modules. You can have n number of modules. You just need to take care if you are using service, that service is available in that scope or not.